Hi guys, my name is Riley,
And I'm Jared.
and today we're going to be talking about Shannon.
And Shannon is from the episode of The Daily. Becoming a steelworker liberated her, and then her job moved to Mexico. So, Shannon, the problem you are facing in a socialist perspective, per se, would be the fact that you are losing your job even though you're very, very well trained at what you do because of the years of experience that you've had. And this is all happening because of the fact that the owner of your company is moving the company to Mexico for lower wages, essentially to put more money in his pocket. You know, he doesn't want to give the money where it's earned, right, where you've earned it. Instead, he wants to give it to someone where, you know, it's going to be cheaper for them.
Going on, so looking at your plight, Shannon, it's definitely in need of correction. Your situation is not good for you. I mean, like Jared said, you're good at what you do. You're doing your job very well, but you're losing your job to a Hispanic male worker in Mexico, even though you're doing your job probably better, probably way better than this worker coming from Mexico probably could. So, in a socialist perspective, yeah, that's definitely in need of correction for you.
So, according to, or in the book, or in our reading of Evolutionary Socialism by Edward Bernstein, the working classes have to pass through long struggles by means of which man, woman, and circumstances will be completely transformed. So essentially, you are a middle-class worker in a capitalist society run by the top 1%. And that is why you are currently losing your job. Your boss is moving the company back to Mexico so he can make more money. And so, you know, the most important part, you know, your most important feature in a, you know, again, a socialist perspective, would be the fact that you're very good at what you do. And you can't get that, you know, by teaching in a school or getting an education or just coming off the streets. It's by years of experience, and you had that. And again, as Riley said, that's why this is in a need for correction, because it's not going to, you know, in a socialist perspective, this would never happen. But, you know, as you said throughout your interview, you know, your views have changed from the moment that you heard you were losing your job to the moment you were officially done. And, you know, you even talked about when your trainee found out that, you know, he was replacing you and how sincere he was. But you even told him it's not your fault because he had nothing to do with it, but you were happy that he was getting the opportunity that you once had. So, you know, your views have definitely changed from when you first heard the news to the end.
And going on to the last one, Shannon, what you should do about the situation, I guess what I would do about the situation if I was in your shoes is I would argue to the company's owners, you know, I'm doing my job dang well. And I'm pretty sure, as it mentioned in the Daily, the company out-budgeted for how much they were going to spend on their training expenses. I mean, right there I can already see that if they're spending more than they had for their training budget, they probably should have just stuck with you because you did your job just as well as probably some of the Hispanic workers did, and it's costing them money to build this factory in Mexico just for some cheaper labor. Now, I don't think you should burn down the factory in Mexico. I just think that you should explain that to them and just show them that you're the better worker at the cheaper price. And I guess in the view of should you stop supporting President Trump and start voting differently, you should definitely start voting. In our readings on democratic socialism in the U.S., socialism in the U.S., I guess from Bernie Sanders' perspective, is big on making sure that every vote counts and everyone has a say in what goes on. So, in that view, you should definitely vote. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to support Trump or not support Trump, but in the case of socialism, make sure your voice is heard because that's probably one of the most important parts of socialism.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep.